to just share this special time with you. And my talk today is on spiritual elegance. I guess all I really would have to do is to let you look in the mirror, and then you would know what spiritual elegance is, right? Because we are all spiritually elegant women. Sometimes we forget, and so there's a few things that I'd like to share that might help us remember who we are. And so when I look out, I certainly see a room full of beautiful, bright, shining lights. So what exactly is a spiritually elegant woman? When you think of a woman who is like well-known, who is one of the most well-known women in the world?
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary,
Madeline Albright.
Madeline, Oprah, you know,
Oh,
all
yeah.
these, okay. Well, does a spiritually elegant woman have to be rich, famous, and accomplished?
No.
No. She may not, and this came to me, so I'm going to read part of this. I didn't memorize it like I memorized my hour monologue last night, because I really don't want to miss what I was inspired to write. But she may not have a bank account that's overflowing, but she is wealthy in spirit, because she has tapped into her divine, abundant inheritance and generously gives to others. She may not be at the top of the social register, but she has a royal lineage as a child of God, and she knows it. She may not have a position of authority on the organizational ladder, but she has personal power and commands respect and uses her influence to create positive change. Now, I was trying to use my Dr. Pamela Gerali voice yesterday when I talked to Tom, because we found out that we had this tiny little room. There were 5 tables in here, and there wasn't room enough for us to do anything for me to do my show. I was getting a little pushy, so I fell far short of using my sweet influence that time, but we all learn, don't we? She may not have a 10-page resume of accomplishments, but she lives purposefully and for the highest good of all. And she may not have her name in the headlines as the top talent of the day, but she gladly and joyfully gives of herself, her time, her energy, to make a difference in the world. So that is what a spiritually elegant woman is. Now, how does a spiritually elegant woman appear? Is she young, beautiful, stylish?
No.
Not necessarily. She could be, yes. So she may not be drop-dead gorgeous, but she has an inner beauty radiating far and wide through every thought and word. And she may not stand as straight and tall as a model, but she's in perfect alignment with the truth of her being. She may be a little unsteady on her feet, but she moves with courage and grace, taking one step forward at a time. And she may have diminished hearing, but she's tuned in to that still small voice of God and has learned the power of silence and stillness. Her vision may not be as acute, but she has a twinkle of humor in her eye and sees beyond space and time with a clarity of vision, tapping into that higher perception, the intuition. And she may not have perfect teeth, but her smile will light up a room because she is the picture of love and acceptance. She may not have flawless skin, but maybe she has some makeup. And she may have a roadmap of wrinkles, like my grandmother did, but she is the picture of perfection and authenticity. And her skin may be pale and transparent, but she has that blush of a new bride because she is filled with passion and enthusiasm for life. And she may not be physically strong, but she has a spiritual strength and a strength of character that goes beyond what we can ever imagine. And she may even have an outdated wardrobe, and perhaps even the owners of the vintage fabric stores might like to get a hold of some of her things, but the clothes that she clothes herself in the constant presence of the divine. And her jewelry box may be full of unimpressive costume baubles, but she has a priceless collection of friends and memories. So that's how a spiritually elegant woman appears. Well, what does a spiritually elegant woman say and do? Is she brilliant and talented and dynamic?
Yes.
Maybe, maybe not. But she may not have a vocabulary of a scholar, but she speaks truthfully and lovingly from her heart. And she may not sound like an angel, and she may sing off key, but the melody of her life is in harmony with all creation. She may not have a wall full of diplomas, an alphabet behind her name, but she is wise and offers sage advice with compassion exactly when, where, and how it is needed. And she may have a few physical ailments, a few aches and pains, and may face many challenges. But she has no fear because she focuses on the positive and brings joy to everyone with a playful spirit. And she may have a little shaky, trembling hands, but when she reaches out to a friend in need or someone less fortunate, she touches them with all the love in her heart. And she may be a little slow at the checkout counter and keep others waiting, but she has released the past and doesn't worry about the future. She lives fully in the present. Now my watch stopped, so I'm in the now, but I have one over here. She lets her light shine every moment of the day as a miraculous, individuated expression of God. And she shows up completely, not just in body, but in spirit, as the exquisite expression of God that reflects the wholeness and the perfection of her being. She looks into the mirror, sees deep into her soul, and likes what she sees. That is what a spiritually elegant woman says and does. Well, what does a spiritually elegant woman know for sure? We think we know a lot, don't we? You know, we've had a lot of life experiences. Yes. Well, this is what a woman expressing the essence of her being knows for sure. She knows who she is and embraces her magnificence and her worthiness as a child of God. She drinks from the fountain of eternal youth and takes care of herself because she knows that while the body is the temporary home of the soul, it is how she expresses her inner spirit. She lets the inner qualities of love, peace, and joy flow out into the room and throughout the world because she knows that they reflect her true self. And she is fearless because she knows that she is guided and protected every moment of the day. Nothing can hurt or diminish her spirit. She knows she is loved beyond belief and that she is God's expression of love on earth. And she knows that she is not alone, that if she shows up and allows God to work through her, everything flows easily and effortlessly. When we're trying to do things on our own, ego makes it really difficult. We struggle and we strive. But when we're in spirit, it's easy and effortless. She knows that whenever she feels off balance, she can go within to find that center and restore some peace and calm to her life. And she knows that when things get hectic, she can pause in the moment, collect herself, and move forward with all the dignity and grace that she is. We just need to take a breath. And she knows who she is. And she does not diminish herself by saying, I am sick, I am poor, I am not creative, I am unhappy, I am anxious, I am depressed. She does not take the Lord's name, I am, in vain. Did you get that?
Yes.
Yes, and Lida.
Yes. She does not take the Lord's name in vain. I am beloved, holy, and whole.
Never heard that before.
Yes. So who is a spiritually elegant woman? You and you and you and you and you and me? Yes. We are all essence, pure spiritual beings enjoying an earthly experience. But we don't always remember that, do we? We get very busy, we have deadlines, things happen like yesterday. And the roads get crowded and we get lost and, don't find our way. It takes us a while to get where we need to be. And then company comes for the holidays and we have food to cook and shopping to do and all that stuff, so we kind of forget a little bit about who we are, right? On occasion, we're human in addition to being expressions of the divine. In fact, we often react out of fear and old patterns when things knock us a little off center. So, how can we show up every day as the expression of the divine, as a spiritually elegant woman? How do you show up every day? What do you do? What do you do?
Being positive.
Be positive?
I always thank God for my blessings every morning.
Gratitude?
Even though I don't necessarily feel that way.
Well, at least
At
be
least it's a
thankful.
positive affirmation.
There's air to breathe, right? You can start there.
I think trying to, at the beginning of the day, trying to take time to be alone with yourself,
Yes.
with God, to, I have a little devotion that I read, and to see, how I'm going to be empowered that day, how He's going to help me, and just to feel that God's in charge and I'm not in charge.
Exactly. Turn it over. Yes. Other suggestions? What do you do? What's your morning practice?
I always have a morning time where I think of friends or family who are facing very difficult trials in their lives. And I always, I will say that to them. I think of you first thing in the morning and last time before I go to sleep. And they love to hear that. But it's true, and I might be thinking of them off and on 20 times a day, but at least in the morning and at night.
And when we think of them, we see them as beloved, holy, and whole. Not as broken, not as needing, not as poor, not as whatever, right? I mean, we see the best of them.
Yes.
And see them uplifted and cared for, and absolutely,
But
yes.
you have to be open to that.
Exactly. Yes. And we turn them over. We, instead of feeling like worrying or whatever, we hold them out. Like sometimes I find it helpful to just even like put them in my hands and put them out here and in God's care. Almost doing the physical motion to help bring myself into alignment. Isn't that what prayer is?
Yes.
It's bringing ourselves into alignment with truth. It's not begging God. He's not Santa Claus. We are asking, we are bringing ourselves into alignment with truth, yes. Any other things that you all do in the mornings or throughout the day to show up as essence, as the truth of your being?
I believe in myself. Being positive is because my kind of job. I'm a salesperson,
Mhm.
so I always believe that I'm gonna win that, exactly
Yes.
how you say over there. And positive, be nice, and focus on what I want, and believe in myself.
Yes, yes. Anything else? Yes.
Being in the moment, I think the breathing is so important. I've always, since I was a little girl, I've always been a hyperactive person. Like you, I can't sit still. Impossible. But that's one of the things that I've always done is breathing, and part of the breathing is being here in the moment, realizing this is where I'm supposed to be right now, and
Yes.
enjoying where I am.
Exactly. So one thing you can do, even when you come to a retreat like this, is anything that's on your mind, put it on a piece of paper, set it aside, and then pick it up later, so that you really can be absolutely focused on the here and now. Any other suggestions, any other ideas? Yes?
Well, when I was teaching actively, I would have all my students write something that they want, a goal, and so on and so forth. And then we put it in a bowl, all these little pieces of paper. And then at the very end of the class, when I mean the very end, like maybe the last class or something like that, we take it and we burn them and we give them to God.
Yes. Yes, a burning bowl ceremony.
I've done that before, that's really cool.
Yeah, but I did that in my yoga classes.
Mhm.
And I would do that, and they would write their goals, any wishes, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Any pain you have, whatever it
Yes.
was. And nobody knows what it is.
Mhm.
And then we put it in a bowl, and then at the appropriate time, I know this sounds funny, but a lot of times we do it when the moon changes.
Mhm.
And then we burn it, and we all pray. We pray over it, say good things, and then we burn them, and they go up to the
Release it
heavens.
into the universe, yes.
Yeah.
And you can also use that same ceremony with your intentions. If you want to bring forth your heart's desire, a goal or objective, something that's truly burning on you, you can put it in a bowl and ignite it and bring it forth and use that energy in another way. So, well, I'd like to share with you an idea for how to start your day and turn your morning routine into a spiritual practice. Now, every morning we get up and we go through the same motions, We brush our teeth and we wash our face, we take a shower, we get dressed, So, I'm suggesting that you do it consciously and with intention, and add an underlying idea to each part of your morning routine. Think of it as being symbolic of something a little deeper. So here's a suggestion for the morning routine. First of all, when you take a shower, consciously cleanse and anoint your body. Purify your thoughts. Release any negativity. Turn everything over to God. Let it flow out. Release it, okay, as you bathe and as you wash. Release any concerns. Recharge your energy by, when you look in the mirror, see the positive. See the good, the possibilities, instead of being concerned about something that's going to happen that day. Of course, throughout the day and every day, stimulate your mind with inspiring readings, relationships, hobbies, activities. Think of those as something that's going to bring joy to your life and something to look forward to. And of course, renew your spirit and connection with God through silence and stillness, prayer, meditation, contemplation. And get together with sacred circles as often as you can. But on with our morning routine. We have to dress, right? Well, I don't know about you, but I don't like bras, but we need a foundation. We need a foundation of spiritual principles and unshakable faith that will carry us through the day. And clothe yourself like in the constant presence, the loving presence of God. So when you put something on, just see yourself surrounded. Now some people, when they have something very challenging facing them, or they're going to be in the presence of people who are difficult. You know, we talk about kind of putting this circle of light around us, or surrounding ourselves with love, so that almost like a protection. And that's good, but we don't want to have to protect ourselves from others. We want to surround them with all the love that they are too. So when you see them as clothed in love. And we can enhance our physical appearance. We had a wonderful lesson in how to make ourselves gorgeous.
Okay.
And yesterday, so we can enhance our physical appearance to reflect our inner radiance. So with the eyes, we accentuate our eyes so we can see clearly, so we can see beyond the surface, so that when we look into the eyes of another person, we see Christ in them. We see the beauty in them. And we add a little blush of enthusiasm and passion, so that we can go forward and approach our day and energize others around us, because we are all connected. The energy that we have that's part of us extends way beyond our bodies, out and actually touches others. When we are joyful and we are very aware, when our level of consciousness actually can raise up other people who have lower levels of consciousness. That's what Jesus did, and that's what Buddha did, and other masters. So we add some enthusiasm and passion. And of course we put a little lipstick on. 5 years, we're all 5 years younger. Yes. We paint an authentic smile on our lips. And then we bless everyone we see with a positive word, a smile, just a positive thought. Everyone you see, we can raise them up. There was a story about a woman who was in an accident, and she was actually unconscious, died in this accident. And there were all these cars backed up, and the ambulances and the fire trucks and everything were coming along. And their people were very upset, in some of the cars, because they were being held up from their, where they needed to be and go. And then there was a man who was sitting in a car, 4 cars back, who prayed for her. And her spirit sensed this. And later, after she was taken to the hospital and she was brought back, she remembered him and saw him in a store and thanked him because it helped her so much. So you never, ever know what impact you have on people beyond space and time, beyond the present moment, beyond this physical domain. It's just a powerful, powerful thing that we can do. So we never want to forget that. So we bless everybody with our loving prayers. I have a friend who, when she drives along and she sits at red lights and stuff, she blows bubbles. And so she blesses people with her little bubbles.
Did she open the window?
She opens the window and the little bubbles blow.
That's neat.
So, of course, then we can add a little bling, right? We gotta have a little bling. And excitement to our life with some of the eternal charms of the divine. So we can wear pearls of wisdom around our necks. And do you know why that's important? A necklace or something like that, it reminds us, it's like between the head and the heart. We want to merge the head and the heart so that we speak truth with great compassion. And it is how we honor our father, the head, and our mother, the heart. So there's another interesting way of looking at the Ten Commandments. Honor thy father and thy mother. Have you heard that before? Yes, of course. And we want to speak softly and truthfully from the all-knowingness of our being when we merge our head and our heart. So we put earrings in, and we stay tuned to that still small voice. We never know when it's going to speak to us. We stay tuned in, listen for guidance from that intuitive channel of our being, from the higher self, from the Holy Spirit. And we put a ring on our fingers, an unending circle to live in conscious union with God and with others and the entire universe. And a watch, of course. We talked about living in the present moment with no worries for the future, no regrets for the past, and observing what is without resistance or judgment. What is. What is. And only our judgment makes it good or bad, right or wrong. So what is. That's very hard for me to do. Is that hard for you to do?
Yeah.
Oh, because we're reeling today by what has happened in Paris. And add a brooch near our heart to remind us to always live from that heart center. Then we need to add a few accessories, of course. Now, I'm an accessory gal. I'm a collector. I have 200 hats, many vintage hats. I take them and do fundraisers for charities and special presentations and things like that. And I have vintage purses and gloves and all that stuff. So when we add a hat, it's like, my sister gave me this years ago. It's from the 50s. It's like a crown of glory.
It's from what days?
The 50s.
Oh, the 50s.
Yes. For some reason, I can wear just about any hat, the louder, the, So, and we need to hold our head up high and walk forward. Who said something about courage? With courage and compassion and confidence. And then we can put on gloves. Because when we discover who we are and discover our higher purpose, it's always leads us to serving others, doesn't it? So we are here to be in service with others, so we can reach out our hands and uplift others with love and compassion. We have a unique purpose in life. And our first inner purpose is to remember that we are essence, that we are spirits, that we are God expressing here on earth. And then to serve others is our outward purpose. so we can share our unique talents. We all have special talents that are perfectly suited for our higher purpose. We all have every resource we need because that's the way God works. That's the way the universe works. Everything we need is at our fingertips. We just have to recognize it, embrace it, and use it to the higher purpose. And then, with our purse, reminds us to generously share ourselves and our abundance with others, our divine inheritance with others. You know, there's something called the circle of abundance. And if we want to receive, we have to give first. We have to create a space, like this vacuum, so that things will flow in. And what I have discovered is that when we give something out of love to another, we receive so much more back. And it's such a wonderful thing. Now, that's not the motivation to give, of course, because then that shifts the whole energy. But then we also need our shoes. And who loves shoes in here? You love shoes?
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes. We need to step forward with poise and grace and continue on our spiritual path with intention, with living on purpose and being our best in every moment. And don't forget to kick up your heels and have a little fun and go dancing and stuff in the process too. And go out in the world as this beautiful expression of the divine, of God that you are, essence. So that is expressing the divine feminine, spiritual elegance. And before I wrap up, I have a couple more minutes. I know I started early though, didn't I? But that's okay. I have something else I want to share with you, because the theme today was, or for this, was all about empowerment. And a few years back, quite a few years back, in fact I don't even know when, I heard a speaker, and he had been, he was this big strapping, like, cowboy from Montana, big guy, strong man, and he told us his story. He had been, he was so sick, and I can't remember what happened, but he had infections all over his body. He had a colostomy. He was impotent, incontinent. I mean, he was an absolute mess. And the doctors told him, they gave up on him. And they finally brought in the serenity prayer and told him this is the way it was going to be. And he got so ticked. He said, not with this, not for me. So he started visioning a shift in his life. And he spent, not long, 5 minutes, and the first thing he did was to see his colon healing itself and the tissue restoring. And sure enough, they were able to reverse his colostomy. He had infection in his spine that kept him from being able to walk. He was in a wheelchair, and he saw that going away, and it went away. I mean, this man was just so inspiring, and here he was, just as strong and vibrant as he could be. And after I heard him, I was inspired to write the prayer of empowerment. So let's read this together. Grant me the wisdom to embrace my abundant divine inheritance in harmony with all creation, the insight to passionately pursue my unique purpose as an ambassador of love, the strength to joyfully live my truth in a state of peaceful awareness, and the courage to change the world from within. And that last line, I think, is very important. The best thing that we can do for the world is to raise our own level of awareness, to become more God, to become more conscious. And when we do that, we uplift the entire world. it's nice to serve and help others and, address social issues, but we have to start here. So I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope that you will go on my website, join my newsletter, and I do still have a few books with me if you're interested in any of those, but thank you for your attention, for being here, for letting your light shine, and for gracing my day. Thank you.
And it does,
All right, guys, we're going to get ready to get started. Michelle has a quick announcement she's going to make real quick.
for everybody, everybody. Everybody means Phyllis.
So far, we raised $690. So
How many students is that?
that allows 3 students to go on the mission trip. And we want to
How many,
Try to
how
get-
many wanna go?
try to get 4. So we
Oh,
want to
so
try to get
one
one
more.
more person.
Yeah.
Yep, we want to try to sponsor one more student by the end of today,
So keep on
which
wrapping.
means we have to raise $240 more.
Oh my God. How much?
$240 more.
Oh, well.
So that's our goal.
Yeah.
All right? Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
That's amazing, actually.
Do you take IOUs?
Hey, that's it, because I only brought 2 checks.
Well, good morning. This is my second retreat. I was here when was it? It was in April.
April.
And I was delighted that we we're going to have 2 this year. So I'm really, I couldn't wait for this to happen. And we were talking, and we need to just share it with more of our women at church, right? What a wonderful day and a half. And this year I was asked to present. Originally I was asked to present on finances, and I'm not so good on personal finances. I was telling Phyllis I do manage the sales finances for Hertz, which is multi-millions of dollars. Personally, I don't do that well. All I know is I can't spend more than I make, right? So I didn't really think that was very deep. That would have been my 30 seconds. I didn't do so well last year with that theory, so not going to help. But so I thought it'd be interesting. I've been in Naples now a year and a half. I've been with the church about a little bit over a year. I became a member. And so a little bit about Pam Toorock. My name is Pam Wright Toorock, actually. I have a middle name. Thanks to getting a Florida license, I had to change my name legally now, so I am Pamela Wright Toorock, don't ask. New Jersey really didn't care that I had 2 names. Florida apparently cares a lot. So after 28 years of marriage, I had to go to the Social Security office and change my name. And they got quite a joke out of it. She said, the woman that was helping me, she said, now when did you get married? I said, 1987. She said, you've been married 28 years and now you're finally going to take his name? I said, I wanted to make sure it worked. So she turns her chair and she goes, Maddie, this one's changing her name after 28 years. I'm like, okay. So you now have to have your TSA identification match with your Florida driver's license with your social security. You seem to all have gotten that. So apparently I'm a little...
stood in line.
You stood in line too with me?
They said that my legal name on my social security card was not the name I was born with.
Oh, that was a problem too.
Yes. Okay.
But
So now
I stand in front of you as Pamela Carol Wright Toorock. Now that's a lot to get. So anyhow, Michael and I, my husband, moved down from New Jersey I moved with the Hertz contingent. Michael was an attorney in New York in entertainment law. He said, honey, you can move on. I'm moving with you, but I am not taking the bar exam. So he became officially retired when we moved down. And he struggled a bit, you know. I mean, he had gone to New York every day and worked as an attorney in his own practice. All of a sudden, we moved to Florida. We don't know anyone, and I go to work. My life doesn't change, and he's at home. And I will tell you a big thank you to Les Wicker. He reached out to Michael. He brought him into the PSA Studs group. Michael's made many, many friends through that and really done an outreach program all himself. He actually works one day, we're so proud of him, as a zookeeper's assistant for the hooved animals. The zoo. He actually cleans up zebra poop, but otherwise he's got a very impressive title. He was the sloth interpreter. Now that meant you stood by the sloth all day as she, Molly, hung upside down, 44 years old, oldest sloth in America. She only comes down once a week to poop. So not an active role, but he was then promoted to assistant zookeeper. And he's speaking at the quarry. He's speaking at the breakfast. There's a breakfast on Tuesday morning, and he's the speaker. And he brought the CEO of the zoo with him. So it should be a very interesting. So anyhow, that's my husband. That's myself. We have one daughter. She's 26. She lives in Manhattan. Her name is Lexi. So that's my family. I'll give you a little bit about my Christian journey. I was baptized Lutheran. I was growing up Methodist, but we weren't in the Northeast quite the strong Methodist, I think, in the southern parts of the United States, because we kind of danced and drank. But anyhow, I went to a Methodist school. I didn't really go to church much, and kind of separated. And until Lexi was born, I really didn't have church as part of my family life. And I knew when Lexi was born, we needed to reconnect again. I left out the part my husband's Jewish, okay? So we thought, well, we're going to raise Lexi Unitarian, which is all beautiful things, right? It's just a beautiful thing. Love, peace, everybody's wonderful, lovely people, kind of like a hippie age. And so we raised Lexi that until she was about 6 years old. And we did parades, and we did marches, and we did community events, and it was a beautiful thing. And Lexi came to us, and she said, "What am I?" We said, "What do you mean, what are you?" She said, "Well, I know that Donna says she's Catholic, and Joe says he's Jewish. What am I?" And my husband and I looked at each other and said, "Oh, I think before you can be everything, maybe you got to be something, right?" And so that kind of set me off on a path, because my husband is not a really practicing Jew, and we became involved in the Pascack Reformed Church, which had a structure very similar, I think, to the Congregational Church. I became a Sunday school teacher. She went through Sunday school, was confirmed, became a Sunday school teacher, which I was very proud of in her teenage years. I actually was vice president of the consistory when I left and came to Florida. So I knew that coming to Naples, I needed a place. So I visited several churches in the area to find the one that just screamed home to me, right? And a place that my husband, when he comes to church, could feel comfortable, that Lexi would feel comfortable, and that I could find a being. And when I came to the First Congregational Church, I said, that's it, I don't need to explore anymore. So I am so glad, and now occasionally I do welcome new members into the church. I'm a deacon of the church. I do welcome new members, and I hope and pray that they will come back, because it's a feeling that I think you can't create in churches. It's either, and it comes from the people, right? So I thank you for that journey. So Hertz, I've been with Hertz 31 years. Nobody is ever with the company 31 years today, right? That just doesn't happen. And I've held a bunch of sales and marketing responsibilities. We're moving into our new office now in Estero right this weekend, so we'll begin work there. I'm sure I'll go back. I've worked in Bonita for a year and a half, so I'm sure I'll go back there, forgetting I'm in Estero, but nevertheless, I'll eventually get there, I'm sure. And I'm actually the Senior Vice President of Sales Strategy and Operations. So I'm involved a lot with people. I'm involved a lot with processes. I'm responsible for making sure that all of our sales teams around the world have the tools that they need. So in my career, 31 years, a long time. I'm old. I've gone on probably thousands of sales calls. I've made hundreds of presentations. It's very easy for me to talk about Hertz products and services, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. And I've been to lots of training sessions, right? Because I guess they think I'm untrainable, so they keep sending me. But the one training session that was an aha moment for me, and I'm going to just bring a couple things to you today. You will be like, wow, because it's everything we've talked about up until now. It's just in different words. So this training session actually came to us. It's by a man called Larry Sen. And Larry is a chairman and founder of Sen Delaney, a global organizational cultural shaping from commitment to having a positive impact on the world by creating thriving cultures which enhance both the spirit and performance of organizations, right? So when you take a look at a Hertz in this case, what is the spirit? What is the culture of Hertz? And this is a program that helps create it. So very similar to what we've been doing today. So instead of talking about finances, I'm going to talk about companies have brands. So I threw a lot of brands up here. Now you would think I would have thrown up the Hertz brand, wouldn't you? Right? 108, whatever, 100 years old, it's not even up there. But when you take a look at Starbucks, right, something comes to mind, right? What comes to mind when you say
Brands
Starbucks?
of coffee.
Right, oh, red. Lots of controversy over that red cup, right? How about Subway? Okay, Disney, right? Right. So these are brands that have somehow touched us as we've gone through our lives. Now, do I just hit the center thing? Is that good?
Is it going?
No. We could stay on the slide a while, but that's gonna get boring.
Oh, I was glad she was still here.
I know. My technical support. Was I supposed to just hit that? To fall asleep?
Click enter.
There we go.
It was sleeping.
It was sleeping. I'm talking fast enough. Okay, so people have brands too. So I put some famous people up here, right? There's Albert Einstein down there, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's that brand say to you?
Intelligence.
Intelligence, right? We've got President Obama, Oprah,
Don't ask.
Oprah,
Generosity.
right? Angelina. So these are good or bad. We have a brand, right? And we project that brand. So today is like, what does your brand say? So when you walk in the room, what does your brand say about you? Right? And that's very important because that's how I'm going to approach you, right? Is the brand that I see or the brand that I project. So in Sen Delaney's terms is the shadow that you cast. So we walk into a room, there's a shadow. There's a shadow in front of us and there's a shadow behind us. So what brand do you project? I had to write these in my room last night. I lost my piece of paper, so it's a little dark. So what shadow do you cast? As a person, as a wife, as a mother, as a friend, as a colleague, as a sister? What is it that you think you project? Now, this book is all about the mood elevator. Now, what's a mood elevator? Well, we've been talking about this for the last day. At the top of our mood elevator is grateful, right? Right? I don't know how, I counted 5 times we've already said this, right? Grateful. At the bottom of the mood elevator is depressed. Now, we go up and down this mood elevator all the time, every day, right? No one stays up at grateful unless they're heavily medicated, right? And no one is down at depressed or should be at depressed unless there's something really, really wrong, right? So we move up and down that elevator all day. So what levels are most familiar to us, right? We've been grateful. I know we've been grateful here. I've heard those grateful words, right? We've been appreciative, right? In just this last day and a half, we've been appreciative. We've been understanding of each other. We've listened to each other's stories and said, wow, I'm listening to understand. Curious. That's where you got to enter, right? That's the first sign of positiveness, is if I can get myself to curious, I want to learn more about you, then I know I'm going to go up in the elevator. Frustrated. I can feel myself getting here. At any point in the day, if I start getting frustrated, I will get irritated, and then I'm defensive. right? Then it's like, no, I did that right. No, I did that right, right? That's not and judgmental. Oh, well, look at what you did. And then, after that, so you gotta try and keep yourself up in that curious state, right? So I get stuck, I'll just talk to myself, I get stuck, I like to be up here, right? I really like to be up here and to get to here. I have to start here, because this is where I'll get frustrated, right? I just get frustrated. I got too many projects going on, things aren't working well at home, my husband forgot to listen to me again. So that's I can feel frustrated coming on, right? So what do I do? What do I do? It's called an interpreter, right? It's an interrupter. What do I do? Well, in the office, I have a colleague that's very funny. So I just go into, I sit in his office and say, tell me something funny. Make me laugh. So he does it, and I laugh, and I'm like, okay. Sometimes I kind of just get up and take a little walk, right? Just got to remove yourself from that situation. You have to interrupt yourself. Does anybody else have a good idea on what they do when they feel themselves going into a place you don't want to go to?
I sing.
Oh, I can't do that.
No, but I sing in my car, and
Okay.
because I'm in my car a lot, and I can really sing, and nobody has to listen to me, and I think of.
So you're able to change where you're going in that elevator, right, by singing, right? Anybody else?
Eat some, get something to eat.
All right.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. It's a good one. I sometimes drink a real cold glass of cold water. It kind of shocks my system. What do you do? What do the young people do?
I jump around.
Jump around. I'm going to try that. That's all you do. I love it. Phyllis?
Maybe we all need to get a container of bubbles like the lady did.
The bubble lady.
Idea. That was so cute.
So did you have something to share?
I try to be optimist.
You
Every time
do.
I'm driving my car, and I know I have to do, go to a place, I think, okay, you can do this. Look at me in the mirror, and try to be. If I feel happy and okay with me, I'm gonna reflect that to outside too.
Right, because what you can control is you, right?
Exactly.
You can't control what I think about you, right? You can control your reaction to what I'm thinking, but you control you. So perfect. So I bet you're up in that upper tier a lot, right?
Yes.
And you catch yourself if you see yourself going down a little bit.
Believe it or not,
You don't go down?
I describe myself optimist, understanding, positive, and I always think no matter what, I'm gonna win this.
That's absolutely right. But if, again, you can fall down into here. Don't just kill yourself when you're down here. I mean, just hang on there.
Yeah.
Take a little interrupter and you're going to move up, right? Because that's life, right?
And I think sometimes we let other people take control or power, give too much power to. If they allow us to be frustrated, then we have allowed them to do that. So we need
Allow them
to
to
overcome.
Well, I told Phyllis, and I know she remembers, I said, I never do anything that I don't want to do. I never. If I don't want to do it, it's not because I'm angry at you or I don't like you. It's just I don't want to do it. So I don't do it anymore. So that really eliminates all this frustrated.
It eliminates the lower end of that ladder.
It eliminates all of that.
Yes.
Because if it's not coming from me genuinely, then I'll do a lousy job anyway. So why bother?
So you control it.
Yeah, I control it. I go, no, I don't want to do that.
I say to myself, am I even going to remember this 2 or 3 weeks from now?
That's it. In perspective, right? Right.
Yes.
I always think I can laugh or I can cry. I'm gonna pick laugh.
There you go. You choose.
Yeah.
I'm greedy. I jump to grateful.
You just go right there. Just forget all those steps.
If
Go
I have
for
a
it.
moment that I'm feeling all of those things below curious, I take a minute and I realize how many things in my life I have to be grateful for.
And it's
And
a
then
lot.
that makes me,
It's
I
a
mean,
lot.
I don't go straight up to the top,
No,
but
you work yourself there.
yeah, the grateful thoughts work me up there.
I say,
if my best friend was here now and she heard what I was saying to myself, what would she say to me? She'd say like, look, what are you doing? So I kind of talk to myself like a friend would talk to me.
That's great.
There's a saying, you are who you hang with.
Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
And having said that, I have a little parable here. Like you and I are working together here. We become what we think about all day long, and that's Ralph Waldo Emerson. So this is one parable. One evening, an old Cherokee told his grandson about a conflict that goes on inside people. He said, "My son, the battle is between two wolves within us all. One is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, worry, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other one is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, wisdom, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith." The grandson thought about this for a while, and then he asked his grandfather, "Well, which wolf wins?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." How about that? That is really powerful. I'm not really one, I have no right to talk about Cherokee parables. I don't have any Cherokee in me, but I ran into that and I thought, is that true? If you feed that upper end, you hang out with people that are in this upper end, right? If you find yourself getting there, you push yourself up. Is that not what we are feeding, right? I think that is really critical. Now, we talked already about this. I think Pamela talked about it when she was Pamela the doctor, right? She talked about results, getting results. And she clearly put herself, when she was that stern doctor, she put herself in this controlling state, right? So you can actually take all these states, first of all these styles get results. There's not a good one or a bad one. They all get results. It's how they get results. So you place these in 4 quadrants. The controlling ones are up here. The controlling, you know what controlling is, right? You got the analytic guys over here. They're going to analyze till they die. No action ever taking place here. You have the promoters and you have the supporters. I'm going to just kind of take you one step further into that. But again, all these styles get results. And the reason I'm bringing this to you, because even as a group, right, if we're to collaborate on something for our church or for our community, for our families, we need to understand what styles we are dealing with, right, and where help. Now, in the controlling, what do we got? We got the take charge or design, so we're results oriented. Now, there's a lot of liabilities that come with that style, if not in check, right? Impatient, insensitive, and autocratic. You will simply do it my way and it will be perfect and it's the end of it, right? This will not operate well if you're trying to build a collaborative environment, right? The analytical guys, I love them dearly. I have a team that works, but if left alone, they're not moving. They're just going to keep running the numbers. And eventually we got, okay, what does that mean? Okay, so they're very organized. Everything is based on reality. Indecisive, way too detailed, and they're never, ever going to take a risk, right? So if you could put those guys in the quadrant, no one is ever in only one quadrant, though. We as people have all these 4 quadrants in us, right? Now, moving down here, we have the promoters. They're stimulating idea, they're inspirational. You saw a bit of that coming out with Pamela, right? Impulsive, poor follow through, need assistance a lot, and I got 100 ideas, I don't know where I'm going from next, right? So that's kind of the promoting. And then supporting, real team players on this side, right? Consensus, they're not moving until the whole room agrees. Right, relationship oriented. You want these guys on your team, but they're too agreeable, right? Everything's okay. They will avoid conflict at all costs, right? And they're really not demanding enough. So if you do analysis, right, you kind of check where you are. Again, everybody's got all these in. Left unchecked, under stress, you'll have a tendency to go to one quadrant. Can anybody guess what quadrant I go to?
Controlling.
Yeah. So I work, I'll be honest, yeah, so unchecked, I will go here. So I work very hard to move it down, to move this down. so that I can build the teams in my family, in my community, in my work that I want to build. Because unchecked, this will not work. Now, the controlling people have the hardest people for us to deal with are these guys down here. So this is hard. So if you're because they'll just never make a stance unless they're encouraged. So you have to get these guys up here, you got to get down, and then you begin to build the teams. Because isn't it wonderful if on your team or in your family, you have all of these types of successes. And again, no one gets success by staying up here. So once you understand what you are, and understand what your liabilities are, and each one, as you can see, has liabilities, you need to put them in check and begin to work down toward this center. So this is perfection. I am not quite there. This is perfection. And so that you can really understand all the different styles. But each one of those styles gets results. And you need all those kind of styles on your team. Now, this is another thing. This is an aha moment for me. We all have filters. You don't know you do. They're just there. They can come from your childhood. They can come from your family. They can just come from who you are. But when you take a look at a situation, you may see it totally different than it because of the filters that I have built in, right? They're blind spots. They're moods. They're thoughts. And it affects how we see people. It affects how we see events. And it quite honestly affects how we see life. So when you take a look at a situation, you come up with, you think and understanding, you say, am I really seeing that as Pam Toorock? Or do I have a filter here? Do I need to remove something to understand that person or that event even better? So I thought these are two really interesting. Back to Ralph. I seem to like him. People only see what they are prepared to see. They don't see anything else. And we don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. So that's really important, is to understand we've got baggage coming in here. And to understand that we do, eliminate some of it so that we actually can see more clearly. This is the second big aha moment, and we talked about this just this morning, right? Be here now. So women, we can all, how many things can we do at the same time? Multitasking. I'm going to tell you, you can't. I mean, there's some things. You probably walk and chew gum. That is challenging for me at times. But there are some things you can't do. And I have tried to do this. So I'll tell you a family situation, right? My daughter, when she was younger, would come in. And she'd say, Mom, you have to say, oh, sure. Yeah, let me just finish up here on the computer. Yeah, go ahead, honey. Go ahead. Yeah, no, or I'm cooking. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, really? Wow, wow. How do you think it made her feel? Mm-hmm. That's what I never understood, is how I made other people feel. Or at work, same thing. Come up, hey, I got this project going. No, you got, yeah. Oh, wow, no, really? Wow. What was I saying to this person? You're not important. You're not important, right? And I can multitask because I can do 100 things at the same time. I suggest you can't. And what I've learned to do in my family life, my friend life, my work life, if I am in a project, I cannot give you my full undivided attention. I stop you right there. And I say, please don't think this is rude, but I need to finish this, and you are really important. Can I get back to you in 5 minutes?
That's a good one.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, that's really rude. No, I think what I was just doing for I don't know how many, and I still do it, oh please, there's a sign on my desk that says this, be here now. Conference calls are the absolute worst. Does everybody agree? How many things can we do on a conference call?
You can do this.
You can do that. I can do
You can eat an apple.
And then all of a sudden I hear my name. Pam, what are your comments? I'm like, oh, shoot. And then you pretend you're on, we do the same thing. Oh, you didn't hear my response? Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. I mean, come on. So, as good as we are at doing two, 3 things at the same time, be here now, right? And look, I think I'm going to go back here. How do I go back?
Hit the delete button. There you go.
All right. And then this, it's called appreciation, right? And Les talks about this. It's appreciation. And one of the things is kind of clunky. This comes from work, but I've tried to incorporate in my life, is to say what I appreciate about you. Right? What I appreciate about you. And it's just a simple thing. So I want to do real fast. I want to go around the table. So what I appreciate about you. And just talk to the guy next to you. That's all. I'll go first. Phyllis, what I appreciate about you is your passion, your integrity, your empowerment, and the ability to bring us all together on this wonderful event. Thank you. Wow.
Are we doing it at all our own tables?
Yeah, just keep going around. Just keep going around. You do it. Keep going.
Oh, no, Phyllis has to tell
What I
her.
appreciate about you is that your sense
So
of
do-
humor.
So we can go around with
Speak up, speak up.
Oh, I thought I was supposed
We
to
wanna
talk.
hear.
Oh, no, I'm about to talk in your big girl voice.
Well, you sound.
Okay, well, I look at Carolyn and I always think of Carolyn as a very powerful person in her sense of humor, her sense of wit, and sometimes, you know, when we kind of get too serious, then Carolyn will bring us back around and look at the lighter side of things. And she's very much a people person.
Yes. yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I appreciate everybody here. But I want to talk about two people that have made a big difference. One of them is Phyllis. I showed up at the church 6 months ago and she gave me a hug.
Oh,
And she have adopted me like her sister. So I appreciate that very much. And I'm part of the family now.
yes, you are.
Yes, very important. Also, I want to give thanks to Stacey. She's been so wonderful to me.
Stacey.
Last night, well, I've been carrying marks of pain on my shoulder, my neck. It was terrible pain I had last night. I went to her room. She offered me some treatment, Reiki, I think.
Reiki.
And spent 20 minutes with her hands on my shoulder. And I feel very peaceful, very relaxed. I feel the healing. And when she said done, I move my arms and I can move and have no pain. All my pain disappears. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else want to appreciate what I appreciate?
Well, I just met Anna yesterday, and it's very nice to meet her. She's very open. She's a great listener, I have to say, and very caring person. Very, very genuine person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes.
I appreciate all the hard work Stacey went through. All
I agree. I appreciate Stacey too.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yay.
I'll do one other thing here. We talked about listening, just real, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, and I know, I want to say appreciation to Pam, because I think I will always remember, I feel like I have my back to you.
Yeah.
I will always remember this chart, you know, the elevator, the mood elevator. And I was just thinking how powerful that is in our lives, and I thought about the church, that, don't you think she could give a wonderful sermon some Sunday?
Les talked about attitude a lot, you know, and that's why I thought that really just kind of brought it all together, how you teach. I mean, this was given to corporate America, but it's about the spirit of corporate America, so thank you for that.
So I know now why Pam is so successful in what she does, because she is just a wonderful connector.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But thank
This
you.
is funny, this levels of listening, we talked about that before, right? So there's to understand, we should listen to understand, right? This is another, I'm giving you all my sins right now. This is another thing I'm not real good at. Listening, right? So non-listening's at the bottom. I shouldn't say at the bottom. If this is non-listening, my husband is here, love him dearly, but he makes me be low. In fact, you know, I mean, I've been on business trips and he calls me, goes, "Hon, one time you coming home for dinner?" I go, "I'm in Chicago." Now, don't you think I would have shared with him that I was going to Chicago? I mean, really. But anyhow, so there's non-listening, right? Non-listening is you know. Then you're listening because I got to tell a story, right? You just said something, so now what is my story? You're not listening if you're thinking about what is my story. And now I'm making judgment. Look what she said. my gosh, well, I'm making judgment there. You're not listening, right? You need to listen to understand. And so that all comes with being here now, listening, right? It's all about that sense of not telling, but by listening. And then I'm coming up on my end here. We did that. We said this before, but I love this one, the Serenity Bear. Right? You know, let me worry about the things I can change and things that I can't. We call this gravity. I don't think you need to talk to any 50-plus-year-old woman about gravity. We got that deal, right? Everything moves south. But gravity are things that you can't worry about. I can't worry about the weather. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But I can worry about my attitude about the weather because I'm going to have that bad hair day, right? I mean, there are things that you can worry about and should worry about because you can change. And then you talked about it earlier, Phyllis, there's some things that just can't do. So put your energy behind the things that you can change. And I say this is really powerful as women, right? We are not where we need to be. And I mean, and I'm talking to you because we are not there in the professional sense. Mm-hmm. If you want to be a professional woman, work outside the house, we are still years away from where we need to be, equality, right? Right, 20 years, actually. I just read by McKinsey, I just read a recent article, and they said women are 20 years away from making the same amount of money in the C-suites, right? That is ridiculous, right? So we need to, and that's all about empowerment. If you choose to work in that field, I'm not telling you you should, if you choose and want, then we should be working at equal pay, right? And equal responsibility and equal respect. So we as women still have a whole bunch of work to do in that area. So that ends my little thing, but I do have some souvenirs. So this is one of the things we did at Hertz. We had this little guy, you'll see this. Now it says on there, do not eat the plastic, so I'm trusting you won't do this. Because Hertz will be liable and I'll have a whole bunch of issues. This little guy is called Horatio. He's about the ugliest little idiot we've ever made, right? I mean, but he's a stress toy. Oh, that's okay, don't worry. Oh,
she got it.
Oh, the computer one.
She got it.
We'll worry about that.
Keep going.
It's a stress toy. So just squeeze him. Horatio is a little internal guy that we made. He's yellow. He represents Hertz. We just, every time feel stressed, just give him a little squeeze. And the other thing is somewhere on your journey, right, you can send a little note to somebody. We do this. We leave it at different people's desks, and it's like, Pam, you made the journey. Thank you for blank. And we just leave it. So I'm going to give that. It's kind of cool, right? This is the sensitive side of corporation. Oh. Well, as soon as they fix the computer that I broke. Here. So that's it. I thank you very much. And thank you.
Horatio.
You got it.
Oh, that was so funny. It does release stress.
Yes, it does. Don't flush it down the toilet.
Don't flush it down the toilet.
No, wait, he's got one eye here and
It does only have one eye. I guess we don't cheat on that.